All right, looks like we're live. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us today for the Tuesday Feels with Ricardo Sturdivant, where we're live on the Reinventing the Tattoo community. You can join Ricardo once a week talking with artists about art, collecting, clients, tech, and more. We're beaming out to several different places, so if you guys are watching, let us know that all of these streams are working by either tagging a friend who loves tattoos or letting us know where you're beaming in from. Positive reviews are always welcome. All of these Reinventing network shows, art jams, drawing groups, interviews, panels, and webinars can be watched anytime at reinventing247.com. While you're there, you can hook yourself up with a sample bundle from top tier brands known for making quality products, Shine Cartridges, Raw Pigments, and D-Lies Pro. We have several other weekly drawing shows and groups that you're welcome to tune into or even hop on the call with us. It's really easy and fun to do. You guys can set up reminders for our upcoming events on our YouTube channel or catch us live. On Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the Reinventing Drawing Group with Jason Leeser. This is a great show to bring something you're working on, or if you have questions about it, you can get a straightforward, honest answer in a judgment-free atmosphere. Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have our evening canon class with subscribers that are led by the legendary Guy Aitchison. We have a brand new format, the Reinventing Trimester, that just started last week. You guys can head over to classrooms.reinventingthetattoo.com to find out more or to check out our new learning platform. Every Tuesday, you can find us right here at 10 a.m. Eastern with Ricardo Sturdivant. Wednesdays at noon is the Tattoo Now Show by Gabe Ripley, and Thursdays at noon is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Ruckus, where they're beaming out live from Red Tree Gallery. We also have several real-world events that are gearing up to happen soon. We're going to be beaming out for a World Tattoo Event segment at the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention this weekend on February 26th. You can catch the whole crew at Hell City in Columbus on May 20th to 22nd. We'll be at Rubber Tattoo City Invitational on July 29th to 31st with Tony Urbanic, and Hell City in Phoenix on August 26th to 27th. Before we kick off with Ricardo, let's shout out to some of our sponsors for helping us provide all of this content to you guys for free. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got World Tattoo Events. They're the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. Also, Raw Pigments, an ink company that is tapping into the raw pigments with acrylic-free inks that have been impressing artists across the globe. Thank you to Gabe at Tattoo Now, providing technology for tattooers for decades, and the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo, Guy Aitchison. You can find his Biomech Encyclopedia, DVDs, machines, paintings, and more at guyaitchison.com. Also to our affiliates, Jake at Fireside Tattoo Network, The Apprenticeship Diaries, and ecofriendlytattoosupplies.com. Throughout this whole show, we welcome positive comments and reviews on these channels, and would love for you guys to follow us. If you're watching and you'd like to join in the live stream, go to reinventingthetattoo.com, scroll down to our calendar, and click the event that you would like to join. In the event description, you'll see a Zoom link. Click it, check your video, grab some headphones, and you're in. If you guys would like to host a Reinventing event or interview or anything like that, or to sponsor the community, contact us at management@reinventingthetattoo.com. Now I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to introduce Ricardo, and we are going to kick off some Tuesday Feels with you guys. All right, Ricardo, what is up? How's it going? You're on.
What's going on? Not too much over here.
Another Tuesday where I'm happy to see you. This is something I seriously look forward to every single week.
That's awesome to hear, Lauren. Thank you so much. Likewise, you know what I mean? It's always a pleasure to be on here. I'm always like kind of tripping out and sitting beside myself every Tuesday going like, oh man, I'm nervous. I'm excited, you know what I mean? And like, here we go again. Let's like do some more talks and how I like to try to relate life and art together. And like, I keep trying to come up with this like name for that, like this life and art combination. So like LART, you know what I mean? But that probably won't go very well. It's like trying to name a kid that doesn't rhyme with something that other kids will make fun of, like Bart or something, you know? So it's like, so yeah, man. No, I'm excited too, man. It's good to see you. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty fair. I think it's we got a little bit of snow across the Midwest overnight. Other than that, I'm gearing up to go to Philadelphia this weekend. So I'm going to see our guy Jason, and probably hundreds of other people that I'm not totally sure who it's going to be. But really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. It's always fun to hang out with Jason. He's always such a great person to be around. So nice and hospitable and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And there's never really any kind of like lulls in the conversation whenever you're around him and stuff too. So that's always fun. Pretty
Yeah,
genuine dude.
I agree. Jason's not the type that will talk to you about the weather and then kind of twiddle his thumbs.
Yeah, exactly, right. No, but like we did get a lot of snow and stuff like that here. Speaking of weather, and like it did suck. I got stuck on Sunday in this snow drift, man. It was a bummer, dude. I was out there for like 2 hours, I think, just digging this thing out. But other than that, everything's been pretty good. Hunkering down while it was colder and like just crappy outside, and doing some projects and things like that. I've been trying this year to get drawings as close to finished as possible, which I'm finding to be kind of difficult to do, to manage, as far as just because of time, and the way that I have my current schedule set up with tattooing is I'm starting to find that it's a possibility that I might have to start doing a tattoo, like especially on a larger scale, like every other day, or like only a couple a week, you know what I mean, to be able to accomplish this goal that I have for myself, which is trying to render out the image entirely and completely, and then getting a sign off from the client. You know what I mean? I think I'm really looking forward to doing this and implementing it. And it's proven a big challenge for me, for sure. And it's showing up this procrastination that I have sometimes for myself too. You know what I mean? And the goal is to be able to have more of my own artwork out there and be able to show a little bit more of what I'd like to do, and like have my voice come through a little bit more and learn about my voice in the process too. And it's always such a humbling thing whenever you get a client that comes in and they genuinely tell you, because you get some people come in sometimes and they tell you, hey, like I want you to do whatever you want, but here's these 30 different references of these other tattoos that I like, and I like this piece from this part, from this part, from this one, and can we put them together? But you can do whatever you want to, though. So, and I know
It's like
sounds
a that's like a girlfriend telling their boyfriend, yeah, look, yeah, go to the bar, you can do whatever you want. And then
Yeah. It's
it's
not like, sure, go ahead,
yes.
you can do whatever you want to.
So what is your current? So how would this differ from what you're currently doing, or what you've done up until this point into your career? What
Currently,
type of things are you implementing that you didn't do before, or didn't pay attention to before?
yeah. So the things that I'm implementing now, well, let's see. Like, first of all, I'd like to touch on the fact that like getting critique from Guy every Monday. You know what I mean? And like that's just drawings that we do. And then every once in a while, like last night was a big one for all of us, because like he went through and just critiqued so many tattoos, and man, what an incredible thing, dude. Like I've had my tattoos critiqued by him, and it's just amazing to have somebody with that kind of an experience, with this kind of a mindset, that is able to create what we're doing now, right? And he was such a huge lending hand in where the tattoo industry is now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
without his insight and without his retrospection, like, it's the right word, retrospection. I do say it's like introspection, right? Like the inner kind of looking outward. We wouldn't be doing anything that we're doing now. And it's advanced so much in such a short amount of time, but without that first step, it wouldn't have been anything like it is now. So I would say first and foremost, a huge thank you to that. And that's one of the things that I'm doing now, is taking that golden information that's being handed down and like trying to implement it as much as possible, and that includes the foundation of the tattoo, which is the drawing, or just the concept of the drawing, even and how to illustrate it in such a legible way for myself and the client to be happy, and then for other people to be able to make them feel good about their tattoo when they compliment it. So that's one of the big things there. The other one is, up until this point, I've always kind of drawn things up on the spot, and I enjoy that. There's a lot of magic in that moment, especially when you are relating with the client pretty well, and you guys are feeding off of each other, and the client will hear what you say about an idea, and he's like, oh yeah, well, how about we add like something else to it? And you're like, man, I wouldn't have even thought about that. Yes, that's perfect idea. You know what I mean? And I really enjoy that process. However, I do find myself looking at the tattoo, wanting to be able to get back into it for reasons like as simple as like contrast, or adding more values to it, or a little bit more of a dead space that I might add a little bit more subject matter to from time to time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to eliminate. I would like not. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to look at something that I do and entirely love it and go, "That's perfect." You know what I mean? Because that's. I don't think we're able to do that as people. You know what I mean? And we're always so hard on
Well,
ourselves.
there is that quest for perfection, but it could be
Right.
perfectly executed, you know?
Right. That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. And I think that's where I'm trying to go with what I'm saying. Thank you for that, because that's exactly it. Like with a tattoo, you know what I mean? It's a permanent mark. It's here way longer than we are. You know what I mean? As far as our presence and the physical ability that tattoo is here way longer than we are. And it's something that's important to me. You know what I mean? And it's something that I'm respecting and appreciating more and more the longer that I do this. And like the more clients that bring in their 18-year-old child for me to tattoo, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's such an awesome thing, man. I can't even begin to describe how good that makes you feel, and how humbling it is. Really, I've been throwing that word around a lot this morning, but that's been happening to me a lot lately. I've been experiencing these moments with my personal life and with my art life and things like that, and it's been a truly humbling kind of moment for me these
When you're
past few
in
weeks
your
for sure.
some of these, personal things, we both have gone through them a lot in the last couple of years. Do
Mhm.
you feel like how much do you let your personal life affect what you're doing in your art life? Because it's two separate things. I mean, it's one life, but two separate things. How do you deal with if something crazy is happening in your personal life? How to keep that channel open for your art life? And how do they intersect or what? Or like what types of things do you do to keep that channel just flowing and unimpacted by maybe the shitty stuff that happens?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't know if there's that much. There's no switch for it. You know what I mean? Our growth and our lives being affected by things around us, there's no on-off switch for it. I'm realizing that more and more now. Like it's not something that you just turn off. It's something that is always there with you, but there's ways to kind of like maneuver through it, right? And I think for me, I let that kind of be a guide for me for my art. You know what I mean? I'll find out that I've been looking at some of my older pieces and I'm starting to realize like, oh, I remember that. Like I remember what I was thinking when I drew that. You know what I mean? And like to me, it invigorated and it inspired that memory. You know what I mean? And like I was able to kind of feel that at the moment. So I think that it's beneficial to kind of implement it into the artwork that we're trying to create. And believe it or not, I've actually had a couple pieces. One in particular, one of my clients lost a child a long time ago, and like this piece that I drew had nothing to do with that to me. You know what I mean? To me, it was like a celebration of life, and like I guess it did. But like he interpreted it in an entirely different way when he saw this picture, and like it's something that I drew that I was going through at the moment, and he wanted it tattooed on him, and I tattooed it on him. A whole half sleeve of it, and it's incredible. So like it's like that when I'm talking about that. It's the reason that you should be able to use this for yourself. And I think we get caught up so hardcore in being stuck, feeling like we're stuck in moments because we think about how shitty it is or how bad it can be or why me or why is this my luck or whatever like that, which luck is like a made up word, right? It doesn't have any true context of anything in our life, but like I think opportunity is actually what the word is, not luck, because every single moment is an opportunity. Um, and so like you have to maneuver it. You got to use it instead of being stuck in it, feeling like, what is it? What's that movie? Never Ending Story. Remember about
Yeah, that's a
Atreyu?
great Atreyu. Yeah,
Atreyu.
I thought about
Yeah.
that last night actually. I was hearing some
Did you?
Atreyu. I don't know if it was new music by Atreyu or not, but it had me in my head.
Yeah, those dudes. I used to listen to those guys a lot. That
Yeah, they
band a
might
lot.
have some new music out if I'm not mistaken.
I have to check
Stuff
it
I
out in
haven't
the
heard, so
OG.
yeah.
Nice, nice. I have to check it out.
See, when you're
Um,
having like these emotions and stuff, and it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's really easy to see in different mediums. So, how does that translate from like a painting where brushstrokes are super apparent and you can really get that feeling to a tattoo, which is on skin, and you may not even see it how it looks in a year or 5 years or whatever.
mhm. I think that's a good question because with a painting, I would say first of all, if you're really just wanting to have at it and take some aggression out or whatever it is that emotion that you're doing on the canvas, Go with a big canvas, like it's the biggest one. Go to the box store and buy the biggest canvas you can find. You know what I mean? Like even just the cheapest one too, of the biggest size, and just fucking go ham. You know what I mean? Like just do it. Just start something and put all that pressure into those brushes and everything. You're right. And it sounds so corny, right? But it's true. But with a tattoo and with tattoo relatable images, I think it's relied on subject matter, and it's a good way to kind of start thinking in terms of relatable images, right? Like people will see a heart, and one of the first things you think of is like love. But what about the person that sees a heart and they're just going through some bad experiences with like love or loss or something like that? You can see that heart and think of it in an entirely different way. So I guess it depends also, as well as like one of the things that Jeff Gobway said a long time ago that really stuck with me too was skulls and flowers. You know what I mean? Like we see them all the time. You see them all the time, but what does a skull mean to you? You know what I mean? Is it that memory? Is it just because it's a macabre image for you? Like, are you tied to it because it's like, quote unquote, like evil or whatever, But, and so many people that come into my shop, I have skulls everywhere. And they're like, why do you have so many skulls? It's so dark. I'm like, no, man, that's that realization that we're all here temporarily, and it's a beautiful thing to me. It's like it's that drive, and like when you have flowers that represent so much beauty and life and things like that next to something that has been, it's such a dynamic like combination, you know what I mean? And it invokes so many different feelings for it. But it's such a common staple for especially in the tattoo industry, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that one of the things you can do with tattoos is think about subject matter and think about how it relates to like the people, like a larger group of people versus just individually. You know what I mean? But the ironic part is to kind of tailor it towards the individual since it's on the tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So
Especially like especially when they when certain types of topics or whatever like can be one thing to you and one thing to the client, and then you have to find this medium how to illustrate that in a way that's according to the client.
exactly. Exactly. And then the body type, you know what I mean? Skin tone, things like that kind of come into play and everything like that. So that's another way to kind of maneuver through these days sometimes too, is that there's a lot to focus on. So a mental checklist or like a physical checklist is something that's really good for you too. You know what I mean? Like step one, where am I tattooing? Who am I tattooing today? What is the subject matter? You know what I mean? Have I prepared myself for this? Do I need to get in the game and start sitting down and setting some time aside to draw? Things like that. And then like placement, you know what I mean? Like one of the things that we'll be covering in some of these new classes, these trimesters, are going to be placement. And it's so vital. It's so incredibly vital to the goal and the accomplishment of a good tattoo. Like I've seen so many tattoos that are like, palm size or softball size, and they're incredible when you're looking at them, like right here. When you're looking at them this close, it's like, man, that's so awesome, dude. Like, look how clean that is, look how tight it is. And then they start to walk away and you just see it get smaller and smaller and darker and darker. You're like, woof, dude, you have like a darker baseball size tattoo on you. So like you got to think about things like that, like the importance of size and scale versus like, placement and like detail and things like that. So those are some of the things to take into consideration for sure. And I'm so stoked to be a part of this trimester thing because I'm super excited to get back into that and just refresh. That's the biggest thing that's been so amazing is all of us here in this one spot and trying to learn more and having the guidance of Guy and stuff like that and everybody else that's involved now. You know what I mean? It's just incredible because there's so much inspiration on things that you didn't think of that might have just kind of skimmed over your head or just like you're totally lost to it.
Sorry, I was muted. I was thinking the same thing because when I had Guy had guested on the Tattoo Weekly, I think last week, and he was
Nice.
talking about how open he is to learning from you guys, just as well as you're learning from him. So it's a really it's different because it's an open channel on both sides. It's not just like a teacher pushing, pushing, pushing. He's pulling as well. So there's so much stuff that I think that the trimester setup is going to be a new form of growth for everybody involved.
Yep, and that's one of the craziest things is like when I had the opportunity to get tattooed by him and I hung out with him for the better part of the day and we talked about a lot of different things. And what the purpose behind my tattoo that I got from him was like wisdom. You know what I mean? Wisdom versus knowledge. Like we all want to attain a lot of knowledge, but you read books and things like that. You can memorize things, you can take tests, and you can get these good grades on these tests that prove that you can be a lawyer, that prove that you can be a doctor and stuff like that. But you know what you call a doctor at the bottom of his class? A doctor. You know what I mean? Like, what does that what does that help you do to implement what your goal is, what your life journey is? You know what I mean? Like, what's the most important thing, wisdom or knowledge? You know, and like to have somebody like him say something like that, like, man, I'm still learning. And like in this process of teaching, I'm learning more and more about my own self and my own art and stuff like that. And it's an incredible thing. And yeah, that's so cool to hear him say stuff like that, isn't it? And to like genuinely mean it too, you know, like
He was, God, yeah, he was talking about basically keeping that spark alive and,
yep.
becoming senile in any way. You can become senile after just a short amount of time. But if you factor in 30 years, or 33 years for him, it's a lot different. But yeah, just keeping up, not getting so negative about what other people are doing and focusing on your own journey or the people who are on that journey with you.
Yeah, for sure. And being accepting and open to the opportunity of it changing and like different things and elements coming into your life that you might not have planned. You know what I mean? Like this idea of expectations is what I was thinking about this morning. Expectations. We put it on ourselves more than anybody else. And then when we're around another person that's close to us or people that are close to us, we put it on them even more so than ourselves. You know, and like there's things that we do to try to get some kind of like sense of feel from people sometimes, you know what I mean? Or even from ourselves, you know what I mean? And these expectations can be so detrimental to ourselves, you know what I mean? Like there's a good balance between having an expectation of a goal, but be open to the idea that it might change, it might warp, and it's okay. You know what I mean? You have to be able to accept the fact that that expectation might change, and that's another word, expectation, that's so double-edged, and it's crazy. There's that like that
if you don't
fine
mind
line
me
of fuck it.
interrupting real quick, there's a lot of people saying hi from around the country. So if we want to say hi to Chris Smith, what's up from Pittsburgh? He's saying hi, as well
What's
as
up?
Facet and Ink Studio. What's up, guys? Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you all here. Feel free to jump in if you ever want to. You know what I mean? It's always good to have more conversation on here. But I can't thank you guys enough for like, hanging out. So it's cool. Let us know what you think.
Yep. So we were talking a little bit earlier before we started about just a few different things, but so you're in a private studio?
Yes,
now.
I am.
So how do you think the difference of like expectations, where are these expectations coming from in a private studio versus like an online thing or, in a busy shop? So who's generating these expectations is what I'm asking.
It all boils down to yourself. Everything that we experience boils down to ourselves, right? Like, however these expectations come across, like mine, I would say in a physical sense, in this kind of a reality sense, I would say it comes from the clients for sure. You know what I mean? I'm one-on-one with people. I like the idea that I can sit down with consultations and devote my entire amount of attention and energy towards what it is that we're talking about. I enjoy that. And I think that if we are in a busier shop, it's good to have like more of a blocked off area or more of like an outside area where you can sit down one-on-one with the client and stuff like that. But yeah, the expectations are definitely coming from the clients in my environment for sure. But yeah.
So yeah, like for example, we walked into a convention last August and I'm going to the Philadelphia convention this weekend. So like, how does that feel walking in when you could be the amount of people and the amount of expectation just flooded into your senses? It's messed up, right? Like, how do you handle and deal with something like that versus your everyday private studio or small or busy shop?
Dude, I've had moments all the time where I like get overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all do. And you feel that sense of rush, that like blood flow loss from your feet or from your fingers. All of a sudden there's like your feet are so heavy or like your palms get all sweaty and all that stuff. Mom's spaghetti and all that junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like for real, how I handle it, I'll be honest with all of you guys, is I do this technique called grounding, right? Where I started it out by sitting down in a quiet room and you sit down and you try to breathe through the diaphragm, in through the nose and out through the mouth. You know what I mean? And you think of an element: earth, water, fire, wind, and you try to think about what element you tie to, or what the first thing that pops in your mind whenever you think of that sense. Mine has always been water. So you think about it like every breath you take, it's coming up through the bottom of the feet, from the ground into the feet, and then into, each breath comes higher and higher and higher. It just fills you up like a glass body. Like think of it like a glass body, and that helps me out quite a bit. So now I've gotten to the point where I can just kind of like do it when I'm standing around, or if I'm starting to feel that overwhelmed feeling, especially when I'm painting or tattooing, I'll do it pretty often. And when I'm meeting somebody new, or like somebody like when I met Guy and Atchison in person, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, let's not fanboy here. Let's just focus on what it is that we're doing. We're just hanging out, So
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let Jason, he had just joined the conversation. I also want to say thank you to Oddville Tattoo for watching. They say thank you for the great conversation. That is always great to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and get Jason in now.
Definitely get Jason in here. It's always a pleasure.
What's up, Jason? Good to see you again.
What's up, amigo? How goes it, man?
Hi.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, really prepped. Looking forward to that.
I have it narrowed down to 2 different bottles of tequila, because I recently really started to like one specific type, and then it was like, well, maybe I should go with this one. This one's a little bit more like broad, but we're gonna have a blast either way. We've got Cuban food coming out Thursday night, because you're coming down Thursday for early setup.
No, I won't be there until like midnight, I think.
Okay. Then Friday night we're going out for Cuban food. If I don't get stuck there too late.
Bring me with.
Yeah.
That place is awesome. You're gonna love it. It's so good, dude.
I took Ricardo and Kira there. It's delicious. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Do me a favor though, Lauren. When you sit down to eat, have the conversation about triangles that are all over in the walls and stuff.
Okay.
See how many of them you can find, because Jason doesn't think there's any in there, but they're all over the place.
Jason, speaking of Philadelphia, this weekend we are going to be doing a World Tattoo Event segment on Saturday. Does that sound like something you're interested in? So I was thinking, here, Medusa's going to join our conversation, and also thank you to Faceted Ink Studio for welcoming you, Jason. I'm sure they're happy to see that smiling face. But yeah, we'll be doing that segment, and we'll basically walk around the whole convention, kind of like we did for your drawing group for the last convention.
You can do that.
Sure, but now that we have the mics and we have somebody to hold the camera, it'll be a little bit more.
I think it's going to go a little bit smoother.
Yep. So yeah, if you want to do that with me, that would be cool, and I can hold the camera, or if you're tattooing, I could handle the camera as well.
I mean, I don't have too much lined up for the afternoon on Saturday, if that's when it was going to be.
Sure.
Or were you thinking more Saturday evening?
I was thinking morning, afternoon, just because I think once the evening hits, there's just so many bodies and so many.
You don't want me on camera in the morning.
Okay, so
do you see this? This is a very polished, refined look. At conventions, this does not happen without a whole lot of effort.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Yeah, well, I think that we all know that we get to conventions and
we get excited because we get to see all of our friends that we never get to see, that we only ever get to see at shows. Like my friend Devin, right?
Devin Coleman?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a badass. Seriously.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
Hey, Medusa,
I'll
by the way.
Out with him. I'll introduce you. Maybe we can sit down and interview him or something.
Yeah, do you mind if I share some of his work?
Because
honestly, he's one of my favorite artists.
He's a really nice guy, too.
Southern.
Yeah, he is one of the most down-to-earth, most sweethearted individuals I've ever met.
Really?
Nice dude.
Next to Ricardo, of course.
Oh, thank you, man.
So Devin Coley, he's at Maverick. I don't know what that Maverick thing is.
Well, that's Maverick's one of the needle companies that sponsors him.
Got it. See, honestly, we've talked so much about what my preferences are as like a client perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
And that is going to last a lifetime.
And I see
Look
he's
at that.
using Industry, which those guys are freaking cool.
Yeah, they'll be there too.
Yeah, I'm excited
really
to see
good
Eric.
guys.
Oh, absolutely. Eric is one of my favorite people I've met in the industry at all.
Look at the saturation. Look at that
Wow.
pure color, smooth saturation. Those lines are so crispy, you could snap them. You just want to reach in there and just be like, crack.
This is probably why he's one of my favorite artists.
Crispier than a mummy at a barbecue.
Hey.
There you go. Look at
How's
that.
it going today, Medusa, by the way? Happy to see you here.
Look at
Morning. I had some problems with the Zoom link.
14
Well,
round
you're
line
here now.
next to a tight 3 line. That's what he uses. 14s and 3s.
14s and 3s. Man,
It's awesome.
it's
And
very,
you might
very
use something
deliberate.
a little bit smaller occasionally. But
Wow.
well, look at this. That color is solid.
Say that again.
Solid, bro.
He just
I wonder if
does
he's got so
good,
many
solid,
field photos.
clean tattoos. Look at those lemons.
I was gonna say that's exactly what I was wanting to look at too. The lemons for sure. Let's see those lemons.
So yeah, maybe we could sit down with him and talk to him a little bit about some stuff like this on camera this weekend. I would love to.
Look at how saturated that skin is.
It's
That's
pretty
this
graphic.
effect.
That's just the little drop shadows.
Yeah.
That is someone that has mastered the craft and the technique that they use.
Pretty cool how he's got that bend on that leaf on the second lemon in the background, and then he's still got the cast shadow behind that, and you don't lose either one of the shapes or the differentiation between the two of them either, or the three of them. You know, because you got the leaf, the lemon, and the cast shadow. Pretty cool.
He's definitely got his own style for sure as well. Whether it's like the way that he does his line weight combinations and stuff like that. But if I see a piece, I can tell you it's Devin Coleman from a mile away.
Oh, yeah. Without a question. And he's pretty quick, too. He knocked out the entire back of my left thigh in like 6.5 hours. And it's completely saturated with color.
He's got some black and gray as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't do too much of it.
It's still very smooth, just like the color, though. There's no real difference between the style of it. You know what I mean? Which happens quite a bit with a lot of tattoo artists, where sometimes they'll do a different style completely when it comes to their color, black and gray.
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
So again, he is at Devin Coleman, and we'll try and meet up with him.
And you know, the crazy thing is, so a lot of artists out there in this day and age like to use filtered light and filters whenever they take photos. None of those pictures are filtered in any way.
Awesome.
He's taking them with his camera or phone?
His phone. Just straight with his phone.
I wonder if we'll have some clients walking around this weekend that we can just see some healed photos of. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of them. So.
What happened?
Oh, I found a drawing that I tore my apartment apart looking for, and I just casually found it by accident.
Let's check it out, dude.
It's not finished, but it's a start of the robot from Daft Punk's Technologic music video.
Oh, I love Daft Punk. That was awesome. That's cool.
The robot's the same robot they used in Spawn of Chucky. So I was just like, two things I really like. Daft Punk was like when I was in middle school. I loved that shit. And when I was also in middle school, I also loved Chucky. So yeah. I also realized I'm wearing my shirt inside out because I got dressed too quickly trying to log on. So
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
You're starting a new style. You know, the craziest part, like Chucky, is Mark Hamill did the voice for him, man. Isn't that wild, dude? Fucking Luke Skywalker.
Easy.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker.
I really want Mark Hamill to meet my dog.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying this for years, and I haven't got him to meet my dog yet. but I really want them to meet. Like everybody's like, don't you want to meet Mark Hamill? I'm like, yeah, sure, but my dog.
But my dog really wants to meet him. Yeah, dude. Boomer.
Hold on, come here.
Bomber. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. She's deaf. She can't hear you.
Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Your dog is adorable.
Yeah. Get up here.
Yeah, Mark Hamill. And he also did the animated Joker voice for a while, too, in the Batman series. Just dropping all kinds of nerd knowledge on you guys today.
He did. He was really great as the animated Joker. I think that's probably one of my favorites.
Look at that dog. Oh, my
Here
God.
she is.
Oh, my God.
All
kinds of... Yeah. Is it too early for her?
I wish I could bring her to Columbus for Health City.
You can't?
I mean, it's a tattoo thing.
Yeah, might not be the best idea.
Yeah, and she might pee all over the hotel room if I leave her alone for too long. You know, she is elderly and a chihuahua.
Yeah.
You know, there was a little dog floating around. Which convention was it, Jason, when we started that, when we worked on Ruben the second time?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, yeah. There was a little dog floating around there. Like tiny little guy, little pug, I think. That was pretty cute. But
Yeah, you'll see that every now and then at shows. Like they've got Pitbull Rescue Society is at some of the Villain Arts shows, and they'll have a couple of pitties on hand. Like the most adorable dogs you've ever seen. So you do see that every now and then, but they'll have service dogs there for different things, for different reasons, because technically speaking, you can't refuse entrance to a service dog.
Yeah, right.
So
there you go.
But they are around occasionally. I remember being at one show one year. They actually had a puppy pit where artists that were like really freaking out or really stressed out, or people that just wanted to go and blow off some steam could go and like play with puppies for like a half hour for a small donation.
That's awesome, dude. What a cool idea, man. Jeez.
Maybe I should.
It was just like this small little like
fenced off
area, and there were like, I don't know, 8 or 10 puppies in there.
Mm-hmm.
All trying to be adopted by the local SPCA. So it was cuteness overload.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they were all up for adoption, and you wanted to take home every single one of them.
That's radical.
That sounds difficult. How do you get any work done with puppies everywhere and the possibility of taking them home?
Fortunately, I was based on the complete opposite side of the convention hall, so I wasn't anywhere close to them. I did go over and visit once in my very brief walk around the show that year, but it ended up being one of those things where I was very happy that they were that far away, because I would never have been able to be around them. I would have been so distracted. It's not funny.
I get it.
I would have been
man.
like, but they have a pug puppy. I need to go love it.
Dude, I've even thought about adopting a dog here pretty soon, but like, man, the place I live in doesn't want pets. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even offer it to you as an option. Like, pay more and you can have a pet. But no, it's not even that at all. Like, damn it! So I keep trying to think, what's a quiet dog? What's a dog that wouldn't bark? But they all bark. You know what I mean? So like, and I've even thought about bringing like the puppy to the shop with me and just having its own little spot. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Or a cat.
Yeah. Well, you have to be careful with cats, because there are far more people out there that are allergic to cats than there are dogs.
Exactly.
So you have to be kind of careful with like a shop cat, unless you go with something like a Sphinx. But even still, with a Sphinx, you have to be very careful about the dander, because they do have dry skin very easily, and that can float throughout the shop and cause an allergic reaction. So you have to be kind of tricky with that, where there's a far smaller percentage of people that are allergic to dogs.
Cats are also harder to control and would not stay in a contained area. They would hop on your mayo tray and they would destroy everything.
Oh yeah, that and the hair and stuff like that too. And I don't want the hair floating around everywhere either. I get it, dude. Believe me. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this has been the dilemma for sure. Like, man, I want a
But
pet.
I mean,
But I've worked at several studios that have had dogs in the building at that time. They were just kept in a separate room outside of the tattoo area. They weren't in any way, shape, or form close to the procedures going on. Everything was fine.
yeah, I've brought Bomber in. She has a little basket that I carry her around in. I brought her in and just like kept her in the lobby before, when I've like run errands and had to stop by the shop and didn't want to leave her in the car and stuff. Like, as long as she stays in her basket in the lobby and doesn't come like past the line into the procedure area, and I'm also leaving quickly, it's usually fine. Also, Ricardo, if you want to move here to Portland, my building is really nice and doesn't have animal breed restrictions, and everybody is allowed to have 2 pets, and everybody here has dogs.
That's fucking awesome. Do they all get along pretty well?
I've not heard or seen any dogs
Dong.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Dog fights since I've moved here. Everybody is super sweet. So yeah, you should just move here. Be my friend. Be my neighbor.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
That's
What
so
a
funny.
fucking-
I was trying to talk him into doing the same thing just today.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk him into doing the same thing last year.
Yep. Look at this, man. I just feel so
How about
loved
that?
right now. What do you know?
We all want a piece of the Ricardo.
Options.
There's
I'll
just
take
not
the rent
enough
if
of
you
me to
guys
go
want the
in.
dough.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do,
What'd you
guys.
say, Lauren?
Medusa, Lauren, we're gonna create a Ricardo timeshare. Okay, where we all get a very specific amount of time throughout the year that we get to have Ricardo in our lives.
Oh
right?
my god, you
He
guys are
can come
killing
and
me.
live with us. You know, we have to make sure that we feed him and, you know, give him showers every now and then.
A lot of
But,
food.
you know, it's going to be a timeshare situation.
I think I can hook you up with some good food out here, Ricardo.
Oh yeah.
I won't
You
get
guys
the yeah, but Portland sounds pretty interesting, Medusa.
Y'all should come visit me here. Please. We have so many food carts.
Let's
That's awesome.
There's a
Street tacos to the rescue.
There's a 24-hour voodoo donuts right next to my apartment. And coffee shop
attention.
Damn.
coffee shop right across the street. And we've got tattoo studios everywhere. And
What's the guest spot like licensing situation like?
so Oregon does temporary licenses for up to a month, and I think up to 3 times a year. If I'm wrong, then it's 2 times a year. So you can get up to a 30-day temporary license pretty easily. If you want to come over here, and I can help get the information for anybody interested. My coworkers before, because of the pandemic, pushed all of their licensing back, and license renewals got all mixed up with everything. A couple of my coworkers had to get by on temporary licenses until their real licenses came through, and it was fairly easy for them to go through that process.
Oh, COVID. Thank you so much for everything. That's cool, man. You live next to a voodoo donut place.
Yeah, I'm getting so fat so quick. Holy cow. I've got a maple bar hula hoop that I'm like constantly wearing.
That's hilarious, man. No, that's I think I would have to call a doctor and make sure that my like blood sugar doesn't get too high or anything like that. You know what I mean? Be like, dude, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Like single-handedly killing me.
Well, hey guys, I hate to interrupt here, but I do have to run.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me on today. But I need to get cracking on some of these new prints I'm trying to make for Philly. And I've got about 30 minutes to crank out a couple of them. So,
All right.
yeah. So
Sounds good.
Jason, I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
yeah, and send me a text. Remind me about the Devin interview. I'll send him a text and see if I can get it hooked up.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Cool,
All right,
man.
guys, have a good one.
See you later, dude.
Love
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think it might be a good time for me to sign off too. I got to get ready for this dude coming in at 11 my time. And it's going to be got a little bit more rendering to do on the skull and smoke stuff. So it's going to be
Do you
pretty
happen
fun.
to have it anywhere we can see what you're working on yet?
It's just a line drawing right now. I can show you the line drawing.
Sure.
Let me see here. There's not really too much to see with it. Kind of confusing even.
So yeah,
I'll
thank
show
you
you-
everybody who's watching right now too. We've got some other comments saying welcome to Jason and all sorts of good stuff. Thank you for the great conversation. So thank you everybody for watching.
Yeah, thanks guys. So there's a skull. Just got a quick skull line drawing done real fast. And then let me show you the smoke. That's what I'm working with so far. So we'll do like a little morph kind of thing coming in and go with smoke behind it. It's gonna be all black and gray and stuff today. I'm just kind of mapping it out for now. And then I'm gonna go through and kind of render some quick shading and stuff like that on it and kind of go from there.
Right on. Where are you going to put it?
It's going on his forearm. This kid is actually in the military. He's coming in town. He's known for a few months that he'll be in town like this week. So we set up some time for him, and I'll be finishing up a sleeve on him.
Okay.
So I'm pretty excited about it. And he's actually started the half sleeve somebody else. He talked to the artist, and since he's moving and with the military and stuff like that, the artist is totally cool with somebody else, like, you know, jumping on the bottom. So I'm fighting this thing right now, and maybe I'll ask you guys about it. I'm fighting this thing now. It's like, do I match the style, or do we just kind of blend into it?
I would say compliment, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. Complimenting it for sure. So that's kind of why I'm drawing it the way that I'm drawing it right now too, because like it's got to. I don't want to. I'm trying to go a little bit more graphic these days. You know what I mean? More illustrative, not necessarily illustrative, but a little bit more graphic with a little bit more line work and stuff like that. So, which I gravitate towards quite a bit. So I'm gonna fight it today, and we'll go with a little bit more like realistic and kind of more edging in the tattoos than anything else. Oh, real quick, let me show you guys this like cool painting that I have here in the shop. Hold on one second. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Oh, it's framed and it's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm all flattered.
Yeah, Medusa sent that after we met at the BYOB, which I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So thank you
That
so
is
much
so
for
cool, Medusa and Ricardo.
Thanks.
Yeah, you did a tattoo of it, didn't you?
I did, which I submitted for critique, and last night I had little butterflies in my stomach because Guy was all like, "There's not a whole lot I can critique on this. Pretty good. I like it. It's a cute design." Like, he gave me some critiques, but he liked it, and then I melted.
Yeah, isn't that nuts when you do that, dude? And he's like, "It looks pretty good," and he goes, "Yeah, it looks great." And you're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah. That's awesome. So more of that. So what you're saying, Guy, is more of that then, right? That's what you're telling me? And he's like, yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
His class is right after this, right?
Is it today?
It's Tuesday,
Lauren?
right?
I think
Or is
that's
it-
when the material gets dropped on Tuesdays.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're not doing an orientation or like a video thing?
I don't believe so, but if I'm mistaken, I can send you guys a message or follow up in the description.
Cool. Killer.
Yep.
Well, cool. With that being said, let's go ahead and what do you guys think? We can go ahead and start signing off pretty quick.
Yeah, Medusa, can you tell everybody where to find you?
Medusaslays.com or at Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end, Slays on Instagram.
That's so radical.
Awesome. And Ricardo.
Yeah, everybody, thank you for joining. Medusa, it's always a pleasure. Lauren, thank you so much for all your help. Jason, if you're still listening, thanks, man, for hopping on. It's always fun to have you on, dude. Thank you for all your support over the past year and everything too, dude. It's been great. My name is Ricardo Sturdivant. Thank you, everybody, for signing in and tuning in to another Tuesday Feels. And hope to catch you guys next week. And we'll talk about some more things, some more life, some more art, and go from there.
All right. And from everybody at Reinventing the Tattoo, we thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.
Yeah.